Come and get your love. That's right. Happy Friday out there, Jeromes. Everyone, everywhere. Good times to be with the Jeromes, and you know, love each other. Don't hate. Congratulate. Come on. All right. So, thank you very much for coming along on a Friday. I know that we're 2 hours early. Actually, we may adjust it so every Friday is at 9, just because usually Fridays got ish to do, around the house, getting the heck out of Dodge, doing some projects around the house. Still redoing the bathroom. That thing is becoming the new Vietnam, but we'll see if we actually come out of it successful. But Jerome, thank you very much for coming along. You guys are the best per usual. We got some Q&A. We got some Vikings talk for the next hour, but really 52 minutes-ish. Yeah, so let's get into it. First off, Mr. Popo, what 90s and 2000s were your favorite candies? So it's weird. I was never really a big candy kid. It's one of those spots where instead of candy, love ice cream, but instead of candy, it's like, I don't know, give me a burger. Just a weird kid like that. I guess if I had to pick a favorite, I do go hard after Starbursts, like the Jolly Rancher jelly beans, Laffy Taffies, especially that Laffy Taffy. There's nothing better than the pink Laffy Taffies. I don't even know what the flavor is. It is good because it's pink. It's delicious. So I can go months and years without candy, but whenever there's some around, like say Easter or Halloween, yeah, really do get at, or Christmas. Yeah. Oh, also, I put out there, what is your what wing sauce or rub slaps the hardest? So Popo says mango habanero. For me, obviously love the fried wing. It's really good. If you're fried in beef tallow as opposed to like vegetable or peanut oil or whatnot, I feel like you get more flavor. Plus, you get a better crisp. Also, like the lightly breaded wing. So there is an art to the lightly breaded wing. You don't want it too heavy, where it just drowns everything else out. A lot, like Hooters wings are just like, but like every single Chinese restaurant, because they get their foods delivered from the same company, like Dragon Foods, which I think is a subsidiary of Cisco or something like that. But they always have like the same wings, like the same pre-cooked frozen wing, and it's good. It is really, really good. I don't know why. And obviously, with anything, you can be wing snobbish for sure. But I think Buffalo Wild Wings is good. I think Wingstop is good. Wing Joint, a couple places in the northern burbs are really good. Muddy Chicken is really fantastic as well. But if I'm just making wings at home, like even though we have a deep fryer here, I will just smoke them. Smoke them if you got them. So just take some wings, toss them in a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, get that rub going, a little bit of cayenne, a little bit of garlic and onion powder, and then just smoke them on the Traeger, usually like 300 degrees, somewhere in there. Takes about 40 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes, and they're just great. Like they got the light little char on them. They got the full wood flavor, and then just toss them wherever you like. Because frankly, I'm fine with that, just the rub there. Sometimes you can make a jerk rub, put a little cinnamon, put a little bit of cloves in there, a little bit of sweetness. But for the base sauce for me is, so you take those wings and hot sauce and butter. That is it. That's all you need. Like you don't forget the jarred like buffalo sauce with the added sugar and added oil and whatnot. Just hot sauce, whatever hot sauce you want. Texas Pete, great. Tabasco, great. Frank's Red Hot, great. Cholula, awesome. Or if you want to go spicy, more caliente, it's great. Butter is more for the viscousness and it's butter. Yeah. So melt that up, toss the wings in there, and just win the day. I mean, come on, babe, let's go. All right, Sir Meeps a lot. Do you think Gladney ends up in the slot along with Hughes and Hill on the outside as their stars? I think Hughes is going to be the slot corner. Gladney, agility-wise, he's not up there with Hughes. I think Hughes, well, people forget Hughes in 2018 won the starting slot job, which is amazing for a rookie cornerback. Him getting hurt opened the door for Mac to become Mac, right? So I think he will be Hughes in the slot, but also I think it'll be Hughes and Gladney starting. But then when they go nickel, they'll bring in Dantzler or Holton Hill on the outside, and then they use the kick inside. That's my best guess right now. Preacher Paul, hauling it for all y'all. Love a good baby back. Love them all. I love baby back ribs too. Used to live in Reno, Nevada, and every year they had a rib cook-off. I confess, enjoyed it immensely. Absolutely. Ribs are great. Wings are great. Everyone's great. Next up is Ethan Moon. If you did a video on Culpepper on Moss Film, I would watch it. That'd be really good. God, we'll have to search the 7 C's to find some Dante and Moss, all 22. Or I guess we could even just do the TV telecast. Preach Paul. I also find it funny that peeps are mentioning other shows. Come on, player. Premium quality. Keep growing and showing, baby. All right. So this is me. All right. So this is me yesterday. I was like, how come everyone just brings up other channels? Like, hey, have you heard of this channel? Hey, you should do this channel. It was just me, moment of bitching. Lord Thick Chucka. Besides the first 3 rounds of picks, who on the Vikings do you feel most confident about? For me, it's James Lynch. Confident in James Lynch. Oddly confident in Harrison Hand. I think he'll find a spot. Special teams first. He can play safety and cornerback. God, I have to look. PFR Vikings draft picks. I think Willikis can make a name for himself. I think long term, Kyle Hinton could be something. He could eventually become Chris Hinton. I think KJ Osborne, I think he'll have a lock on the 2 return spots to begin with, and then maybe develop something else. Metellus and Cole are intriguing to me. I think Troy Dye will be Eric Wilson's eventual replacement. I don't think they'll re-sign Eric Wilson after this year. And Wanham is obviously very unique, and I enjoy him as well. Ooh, the clowning video is ready. So there you go. Next up is Bawa to Ba. What was your original reaction to the Vikings signing Riley Reef? Well, I was kind of like, okay. That was basically it, right? So Riley Reef, BFR, because he came in, 2017, 2018? It's one of the two. Right, 2017. So when they signed Riley Reef to that monster free agent deal, they did have Russell Okung right at the altar. Like, it was ready to get hitched. Let's make this happen. They had contract in hand. And then at the last second, his wife was like, I don't want to live in Minnesota. So then they just left, and they signed with the Chargers. So it's really unfortunate. I think Russell would have been a much better left tackle, obviously, than Riley Reef. Riley Reef is the human prime meridian. He's perfectly average, except in big games. Like I point out, half of his pressures and sacks that he allowed last season were in 4 games. Were both Green Bay games, Week 4 Chicago, and then the division round game against San Francisco, which is not great. Yeah. But also, that was a weird offseason because originally the Vikings wanted to re-sign Matt Khalil. Like, that was the plan. Scary to think, right? And then they miss out on Okung, and then they signed Riley Reef to this massive deal, even though the Lions just gave him away for free. Also, they gave the Lions a compensatory pick. Yeah. Next up, Ira Coffin. Thanks for the NFL expansion. Shout out to Fayetteville, Arkansas yesterday, Andy. It's my birthday today as well. Wish Ira a happy birthday. What up? What have you seen the NFL NBA jersey swaps? Thielen in a throwback. Timberwolves is all right. So Vikings Wolves jersey swap. These are always fun. I actually like these better than NFL concept uniforms. All right. Oh, Teddy B wearing number 5. Who's number 5 for the Wolves? It wasn't Anthony Peeler. He was number 1. Terrell Brandon was 7. Oh, Doug West was 5. Duh. Of course. I'm a dummy. Thielen, Timberwolves. But like the Wolves jerseys with the tree border. I mean, these, besides the classic ones, I mean, these ones were the ones. Also, like the black ones are just great. Thielen Timberwolves jersey. And okay, now, but yeah, these ones, like the absolute classic Wolves. Like, find yourself a J.R. Ryder jersey, or a Pooh Richardson, a Tony Campbell, not a Christian Laettner. Yeah, come on. Man, it was so funny. God, Christian Laettner. They did a full 30-30 documentary on why people hate Christian Laettner. Well, number one, face. That's all. Plus, people just hate Duke. Yeah. But how is he on the Dream Team? Like, how does that jabroni have a gold medal from the Dream friggin' team? Huh. Next up is Nate Dogg, FB52. Hey, I started a carnivore a month ago and accidentally ran to your old channel about I'm wondering if you're still doing it and why you stopped. Thanks, Skull. Well, so if you're uninitiated, so we did a carnivore challenge where we just ate meat and like butter and eggs for 69 days, and it was great. Honestly, so we did it, got it physical, got my blood work done beforehand, in the middle, and at the end. And it improved, like, my good cholesterol rose, my bad cholesterol fell. I was my potential for pre-diabetes went way down. Like, all the markers were improved. It was great, and all I did was eat steak, chicken, pork, hamburger. That kind of covers it. Some fish. It was fine. I actually do that to a degree now. It's actually a little bit more keto, so cut out gluten, except for Pizza Friday. I mean, how can you not just have some pizza on Pizza Friday? That's what I want to know. And carbs are relatively low. Eat vegetables, eat lots of kimchi, eat some rice. But yeah, cut out gluten, cut out as much sugar as possible. So it's not like I still go full carnivore, but it's more like a Atkins adjacent, more like a no sugar, no grain type of diet. And yeah, I think it's great. Before, I drink beer too, so I guess that is not completely gluten free. But yeah, you just do feel better, especially as you get older. Because think about when you're younger, like in your early 20s, late teens, you can just eat whatever the hell you wanted. 4 hours of sleep and you're perfectly fine and fresh as a daisy the next day. Not so much when you get to your 30s, just really not so much. But yeah, it's not so much a diet. It's not all the fad diets. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle. And just like it's like fair. I didn't really stop, but also it feels good to eat bad food sometimes. Let's be honest here. Like, hot day. You got your kids, going to Dairy Queen, get yourself a Blizzard, eat the shit out of that, feel terrible afterwards, but it was worth it. Damn straight. Also, WDA Robbie, can I be fluffy and happy at the same time? Sure. I mean, why not? Like, lots of people are fluffy. I'm a little bit fluffy. And you can be relatively happy at the same time. Sure. Flying Kite 04. What is your favorite soft drink, soda pop, etc.? So, I only drink, well, it is pop, by the way, because I'm from Minnesota. I only drink pop now when it's mixed with booze. So Captain Coke, Jack and Coke, usually Coke Zero or Diet Coke, it's whatever. Soft drink, I guess like sparkling waters, like LaCroix. Dasani makes a really good one. Because if you drink a lot of pop or soda now, it's like, no judgment, but if you're trying to break yourself out, it's extremely tough. It is, because your body just becomes so used to, and it actually needs, and it becomes addicted to like all the sugar, all the artificial sweeteners, all of that stuff in there. But yeah, I understand that LaCroix tastes like if a lime farted in like a drive-by. But you do get used to it, and I think it's less like the sugariness and more of your body just likes that the bubbliness. The palate just likes the bubbly. Aclan 14. Thoughts on phone companies intentionally slowing down their older generations to incentivize customers to purchase new ones? Apple stuck with a settlement. I didn't think that was controversial or really a conspiracy. I thought that's actually what happened, because I remember. So we got Android now, but I'm really agnostic because like I'll buy an iPhone, whatever. But I do remember distinctly when we had the iPhone, had iPhone 5, had iPhone 7, and then like as they start to age out, they just get slow. I thought everyone like knew that, but apparently that's wrong. Well, it is wrong, but yeah, it's just everyone just like knew about it and accepted it, which I thought was funny. So yeah, it's good to see that they're changing that practice. Gage Sandin, Dwayne Haskins is going to be the next Jameis Winston. 5,000 yards and 30 for 30 club. Shoot. Oscar Hayes. Do you think the Vikings can pull out a win against the Seahawks on Week 5 Sunday Night Football? Might be the toughest game of the year. Certainly. I think no crowds would help, although apparently the Rona is solved, so maybe there won't be social distancing in the stadiums anymore. I don't know. Head coach. I know different sports, but who you got, Phil Jackson or Bill Belichick? I think Phil Jackson was a much better like manager of men, manager of egos, manager of personalities, which in basketball, I think that's a lot more important than X's and O's. In football, I do think X's and O's are important. Belichick is less of a manager and more of like a taskmaster. You know, do your job. We'll replace you. Everyone except for Brady is expendable. We've seen that with Belichick. I think Belichick is up there in terms of Bill Walsh and being a strategic genius, especially on the defensive side of the ball, which is his background. But offensively, he's no slouch either. And also, Belichick has had this history of just having great assistant coaches that don't really turn out to be great head coaches. But he knows guys that can bring in, run a system. Charlie Weiss, Josh McDaniel, Romeo Crennel, Brian Flores, Mike Vrabel, etc. So Phil Jackson, Tex Winters, Phil Jackson and his assistants. Oh, Tex Winters was the inventor of the triangle offense, right? So Phil Jackson gets all the credit for that, maybe to a degree, rightfully so. But Phil Jackson was a great manager of personalities, like managing and massaging MJ's ego, and yes, he had probably the biggest ego ever. Working with Scotty, working with Dennis Rodman, working with Ho Grant, working with Luke Longley. Good day, mate. And then going to L.A., trying to work out Shaq and Kobe. Kobe R.I.P. So I think Jackson in the management department gets that check mark. And strategery, give me Belichick. Overall, give me Phil, because you can hire X's and O's guys, assistants under you. Yeah. Mr. Popo, if Michael Jordan was drafted number 1 overall, how crazy would have been the NBA at that time? All right, so Wiki 1985 NBA draft. So it was Hakeem the Dream number 1. It was Sam Bowie out of Kentucky number 2. He's Kentucky, right? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong draft. 84. I'm a dummy. All right, so 84 draft. Hakeem before back when he was Akeem. There you go. So Sam Bowie. Yeah, Jordan should have gone to the Blazers, but the Blazers are like, we got Clyde Drexler. We have a 2-guard. We good. Yeah. Okay. All right. So 1984 Rockets. 84-85 Rockets. There we go. Scheduling results. Let's look at this rooster. Oh, by the way, this Rockets logo from back in the day was phenomenal. Like the logo that won those 2 NBA titles with were just really, really good. Roster and stats. So who they have besides Hakeem? Oh, Craig Elo. That bitch. Shoot. Lionel Hollins. John Lucas. I mean, yeah, because when they drafted Hakeem, they paired him up with Ralph Sampson as the original Twin Towers before Duncan and the Admiral. So, they could have gone. They could have gone MJ here, because it's not like their guards were completely overwhelming, right? So, which guard led them in? What was their highest scoring guard? Wasn't Sampson. McRae. I'm not familiar with McRae. All right, so he was a wing. It's fine. Yeah. So they easily could have just plopped MJ down on this team, and they would have been fine. I think they probably would have eventually won titles. Also, they would have had a better supporting cast around MJ to begin with. So with Sampson, with John Lucas, as opposed to who they had when the Bulls. Stacey King, John Sally. Trent Tucker, I think, was on those Bulls teams. Or Orlando Woolridge, really. Yeah, but this is the era when everyone was still obsessed with the big man in basketball. Because let's look at these drafts. So 83, Ralph Sampson won. Yeah, so you're drafting 2 centers in a row. Okay. And then Ewing was number 1 in 85, maybe rightfully so. Daughtery is number 1 in 86. David Robinson, the Admiral, at 87. So talented players for sure. Oh, Danny Mann, Rick Smits, Charles Smith. So they went post the first 3 picks in a row in 88, 89, 2 posts at the top. So, yeah. Oh, Derek Coleman. So, yeah, this obsession with the big man from the 80s went into the 90s a bit. Oh, Shaq, of course, 92. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Shaq, Zoe, Leitner, 3 posts. 3 guys over 6'10". First 3 picks. Yeah. Yeah. It's a shame. It's a low down, dirty shame. Next up is how many playoff appearances will the Vikings have in the 20s? In the 20s? Oh, 10. Yeah. Travis, Caribbean jerk wings are super good. Agree. Also like the classic buffalo flavor. What's your favorite of the 2? Probably classic buffalo, but there's just something about like just a jerk wing where you got the sweetness, you got the heat, you got the savoriness. There's a lot going on. Just the oregano, just the spice from the chilies. I mean, come on. Griffin Creer. My favorite wing place is Buffalo Wild Wings, and their best sauces are honey barbecue, Asian zing, and desert heat. No questions today. Skol on. Yeah, I feel like Buffalo Wild Wings sort of gets a bad rap just because they are at a chain, just because they are whatever. But the wings are good. I mean, they are really good. Like, they are popular for a reason, right? SpongeBob Meme Face. What site do you use for Packers and Vikings record projections? My brain. Also, how many years realistically do you think the Vikings will be competitive? Forever. Forever. Zach Ballas. Anything you can share on how you went from intern to venture capitalist? It was through poker. So initially started through poker. Met some guys there. We started up a fund. We got into some software development. That's really about it. All right. It's not really, certainly not Bill Gates. Certainly not Facebook up in this B, but we're comfortable. We do okay. Andy's evil twin. I like Cameron Smith. He deserves to take Ben Smott. Ben Gideon. Gideon's really good on special teams, though. Like, as much as I bag on Gideon, he is a really good special teamer. Like, he is Heath Farwell if they wasted a 4th round pick on Heath Farwell. Actually, let's go back and look at that draft. Wiki 2017 Vikings. All right, so Gideon, 4th round pick, 120, right after Tariq Cohen. Oh, just a couple picks after Cheeseburger, Eddie Jackson, no big deal. Oh, they could have took Kittle, I guess. All right, so if we remember this draft, Matt Collins too. All right, so remember this draft. Every round they would do. They go to fans, they go to whatever, and this one, PA Paul Allen. Now the Minnesota Vikings are on the clock, 120 overall. Rich Eisen is going to be really excited about this pick. Hail to the victors or whatever, because Rich Eisen's a Michigan alum. So right away, I was thinking, all right, we're going to get Jake Butt. Jake Butt's going to be great. Jake Butt coming off that ACL. He's going to be there to replace Kyle Rudolph eventually. They can free the Vikings up from that salary cap, and let's go. Let's get it done. Right, and then Ben Gideon. I don't know. I was really disappointed. Oh, they could have took Glasgow? Shoot. Not that Glasgow. Yeah. All right, next up is what do you think about the past seasons of Rick and Morty? I haven't been keeping up. Like, I'm really bad with keeping up with TV shows. Love Rick and Morty. Love Better Call Saul. Love Ozark. I have not watched their new seasons at all. I just really have not. And it's a low down dirty shame. Like, maybe during the true off season, even though there is no true off season with the NFL, maybe we'll take some time off, watch TV. I don't know. Maybe after I get this stupid bathroom done, Yeah. Let's give a couple shout outs. Let us know where you're watching from today on the early stream. Always love doing that to the Jeromes. Next up is Aaron Rodgers, BFF and lover. Reading on some massacres, two of them that pop are St. Valentine's Day Massacre and the Chicano Massacre. What do you know about them? All right, so St. Valentine's Day, that was in Chicago. That was Al Capone, I believe. God, who's the guy who's taken out? Because they didn't portray that on Boardwalk Empire, did they? The Tena Massacre. Following a summer of increasingly large demonstrations in Mexico, protesting in the 60 Olympics, armed forces opened fire on unarmed civilians, killing undetermined. Wow. I'm unfamiliar with this one, but man, yeah. But yeah, St. Valentine's Day Massacre. So you got Al Capone, Northside Gain, Cicero representing. It's a Murrah Associates. Yeah, I love history because you're supposed to learn from it. Yeah, there you go. Next up is I'm trying to think who Capone's rival was. The florist, historical figure. Oh, Dino Banyan. There you go. Yeah. Next up is Kyle Riptrop. If we're talking Buffalo Wild Wings, gotta go with hot barbecue. Hot. I feel like one of the main arguments of Vikings switching to a 3-4 is to get Barr rushing the passer more. But would a 4-3 underlook achieve the same result? Yeah, you can certainly do that. Yeah, I think just getting Barr active and just getting him on the edge as much as possible, or even interior rushing, it would be fine. Which, the move to a 3-4, a 4-3 underlook certainly could be part of that mix. The 3-tech is less important. You do looking for a Leo or a Rio. I think you could put DJ Wanham. Fadi would be great at that. James Lynch would be great at that as well. But yeah, David Bryant, best coach in Vikings history, not named Bug Grant. Probably Denny. I have to say Denny. Denny's number 2 all-time winningest coach in Vikings history. 2 NFC title games, multiple playoff seasons. I believe his only losing season was his last season. Wiki. Also, Denny is another one of those guys where he hired good people. Right? So, yeah, his only losing season was his final season here in the Vikings. Won 4 division titles, 2 NFC championship game appearances, won 4 playoff games. I mean, he won a playoff game 4 straight seasons, and then it was fired his 5th season. Yeah, but yeah, Denny was had a great eye for talent. He came in Bill Walsh scheme, coaching tree. Then Tony Dungy, Brian Billick. Yeah, he just had great assistants under him as well. I think he's a great leader. I think the locker room respected him because you saw how the locker room just disintegrated when Mike Tice took over. Like Tice, he was a good coach. I think he's a good O-line coach. He was too laissez-faire. He just was, right? As well as ownership was terrible. One of the big reasons why Denny left too is Red McCombs was an absolutely atrocious owner. Yeah, I think Denny's just really, really was underrated. I even thought that as a kid too. Like if you can tell as a kid that someone's getting done dirty, I mean, that's pretty big. Also, my brother makes his Texas dry rub for his wings, and they're amazing. Woo! I do like a dry rub. Shaq Edwards, Louisiana rub from Wingstop. Yeah. There's still, all right, so there's this wing place called Zaza's in my college town, Winona. I don't know if they're still open, but they had this Mississippi Cajun, right? So I don't even know what made it Mississippi because it was just like Cajun, right? So you had like the oregano, the cayenne, the salt and the pepper, and the garlic, and all that stuff, and it was just good. Just good. Landon and Everett podcast. If Eagles pick Jefferson instead of Rieger, who would you wanted the Vikings pick at 22? Jalen Rieger. I wanted him the entire time. He was my wide receiver 3. I even put him ahead of CeeDee Lamb. I will be proven right. History will be on my side. Yeah. But that being said, I think Justin Jefferson's going to be really good too. World War II General Vince Vaughn, in regards to your fantasy projection video, the reason you care so much about the league is that there is a bet if you are last, you must do blank. No, it's not even that sort of league. It's just bragging rights, old friends. It's usually how it goes, right? Oh, boy. All right, so I read this comment earlier. You're the only YouTuber besides Vach Lombardi who can pronounce my name correctly. Ha, okay, question. Ayuhoid Ufue. I think I nailed it. If Kirk gets injured this season, do we think they'll make a trade for a quarterback or let the backup quarterbacks play? So if Kirk gets abducted by aliens, depends on what point of the season. If it's early, they may trade. They may sign some. Like, who would they trade for, though? Like, if Ty God is already out of commission, or Justin Herbert is already starting over him in LA, maybe there. Oh, Washington trade for Case Keenum? How amazing would that be? Bring him on home. If it's late in the season, I think they just let it ride. Even though they should let Browning or Stanley or whoever is the third quarterback, they should let them play. They'll just have Mannion play, which is just so moronic and counterproductive. It just really is. Also, all right, so the Vikings have a history of doing this, right? So Rashad Hill, when they signed him up 2017, whatever season he came in, they signed him off of the Jaguars practice squad. The only reason he got on the field week 17, meaningless game against the Bears, wait, that must have been 2016 then, was because TJ Clemmings got hurt. You knew what you had in TJ Clemmings. They started Clemmings anyway. You had this young, potentially good, but now we know he's like a perfectly fine veteran backup swing tackle, but you didn't know that then. He was Schrodinger's Rashad. All right, so you did not play him. You did not start him. The only reason he got on the field and showed up and showed out so well against the Bears week 17 and gave the Vikings fans hope for the future was because TJ Clemmings got hurt. It's stupid. You would think that if you have this player that has potential, that you'd want to see him more than someone that you already know is already a lost cause. That has to irk the decision makers, and maybe it's just the stubbornness of the coaches, or maybe the decision makers agree too. Either way, it pisses me off. All right, next up, Sir Meeps a lot. Rappaport said the cap could drop $40 million next season. If that's the case, we could be in about -10 for the cap. I don't think that we did a video on this a couple weeks ago. If the cap did drop, I think there would be some sort of amnesty. I think there would be some sort of exceptions. Because I mean, these contracts that the teams have signed, they're signed. Like, the guaranteed money is guaranteed money. So, you know, if the cap drops that far, they're gonna have a fight with the NFLPA, right? So it could be a spot where they either freeze the cap for a number of seasons until inflation catches back up with it. I don't think you could just lop off $40 million off the cap, especially with all these liabilities already out there. I think that just opens themselves up for lawsuits and union unrest. Yeah. But also, it would be nice for the Vikings just to cut a ton of dead weight off that cap. Bawa Taba. You think there's a possibility of Andre Patterson being the Vikings 2021 head coach? So we did a video on Andre Patterson, and we thought about this for a while because love Andre Patterson. I think he's a great leader. I think he's a good manager of personalities, and obviously has a great eye for identifying and developing talent. I didn't think that he wanted to be a head coach until he said that he wanted to be a head coach last offseason, as well as taking this co-regional defensive coordinator job. I think he is moving on up. I think he is positioning himself to throw his hat in the ring next offseason. So whether it be here, if something happens with Zimmer, the season doesn't go the way that they expect. If Kubiak seems to be the obvious choice to be the interim or take over just because of his experience, but also Kubiak didn't even want to be OC. Maybe he doesn't want to be head coach. Maybe he is still thinking about his health issues. Maybe he doesn't want that stress. Maybe he doesn't want that. I think internally, Andre Patterson should be the guy. It's not Dom Capers, right? So I think there's a small chance, but I think there's a pretty decent chance that if Andre Patterson wants to go for a head coaching job, I think he certainly has the resume. There is precedent of position coaches, non-playing calling coordinators getting head coaching jobs before. Some have worked out. Andy Reid. Some have not. Freddie Kitchens. But Patterson, if he wants it, he just certainly deserves that shot. Yeah. Charlie Boltman. Did you hate the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC Central days? No, because they were bad. And then they got good when they got new uniforms and changed divisions. Because the year they won the Super Bowl 2002 was the first year with the new divisions, right? Because the Texans came in that year. Can you name both the A-Trains that played for division rivals? A-Trains. And one was for the Bears. Does Allstott count as the A-Train? I don't think he should. If you look at Mike Allstott, that doesn't say A-Train. The Adrian Peterson of the Bears, does that count as the A-Train? Yeah. Flying Kite 04. Super Bowl prediction: Bills versus Vikings. Someone's got to win. Diggs revenge game. Oh, by the way, if you've been keeping up with the news, so like the Jake Fromm. Oh boy, I think that Jake Fromm dropped in the draft because teams knew about that. I mean, teams hire private detective firms, investigative firms. Like, they know. Teams know. They don't know about gas mask bomb videos, but they know, right? So that could be a reason why Jake Fromm's draft stock tanked. Also, given the history of Josh Allen, that's a very interesting quarterback room. So you got to think that Diggs showing up in Buffalo, looking at those two jabronis as QB1 and QB2 on this team, is like, really? Really? Yeah. A couple shout-outs. Let's see here. BVSIC, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I love Oklahoma. It's a very underrated state. I would consider moving to Oklahoma if it wasn't for the tornadoes. Yeah. Well, the wife wouldn't let us move to Oklahoma. Karsten Cicero, Chicago, what is up? John Hoffius, Skull from Stewartville. Pride of the Med City. Stewartville. It's not the Gophers. Tigers? Yeah. Master Jedi 19 Gaming, Skull from Kenyon. Oh, Kenyon Wanamingo, get some. Preach Ball, Holland for all. Hastings, Minnesota, done for the week. Home. What's up? Dakota County representing. Purple Rain, Skull from Wausau, Wisconsin. Brian Kayukin. Oh, talking about the 3-4? Yeah. Sir Meepslot, Skull from New York. What's going on? All right. Love you guys. I love the Jeromes coming in on the live stream, even though it's a bit earlier. And yeah, we will toy. I mean, we'll keep the other days, 11 a.m. Central Time. Friday, maybe a little bit earlier, just because Daddy wants to go out and win the day. Landon and Everett podcast. Who do you think are the top 5 best players of all time? It's really tough with NFL because all positions are so different. Let's say Brady 1, Randy Moss 2, Anthony Munoz 3, Alan Page 4. God, it's so tough. It really is. Yeah. Just look up the NFL 100. Because I refuse to kowtow to them saying Jerry Rice is the greatest of all time. You get out of here. You get all the way the hell out of here. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. And I don't want to miss a thing. Explore the 100 greatest. Wait, is Bo Jackson on this? Oh, greatest plays? Oh, no. I was going to say, if Bo Jackson's in the top 100 greatest plays. I don't know, man. All right, so where's just like the list? 100 greatest? No. All teams. No, what? I just want the list of the 100 greatest players that you idiots put out. Is it all-time team? Is it really just all-time team? I can't even get that. Are they allowed to put OJ on this team? I don't know, man. I said Alan Page, right? God, Darryl Green was really, really good. Mel Blount was a legit badass. And no Harrison Smith. It's a travesty. I mean, they even have a guy who wore number 8 at safety on this list, please. All right, next up. Mo Abdul, lemon pepper or mango habanero with ranch. Agree. When healthy, Adam Thielen is top 6 in the NFL. Yes. When absolutely healthy, getting after it, yes. Billy Long. I like chili powder, dry mustard, onion powder, garlic powder. Chubby Checker Psychos, Marilyn Monroe. Salt, pepper, brown sugar, and a dash of smoked paprika. Woo! Throw them flappers on the smoker and get it. Yeah. Smoked wings, very, very underrated. This really are. Next up is Andy's Evil Twin. Speaking of what cities need an NFL franchise, how about one team in every state? I don't know. All right, so map of U.S. All right, so each state. Oh, yeah, I suppose I can just do that. I'm a dummy. All right, so you'd have like the Bangor Bruins, the New Hampshire Knights, the Vermont Ben and Jerry's, New England Patriots, the Hartford Heartbreakers, the Providence Pride. Well, New Jersey has 2 teams. Well, I guess technically New York has a team. Philly, they have a team, and Maryland technically has 2 teams because Washington plays in Maryland. The Delaware, the Dover Dogs, love it. Virginia, the Richmond Spiders, yeah. The West Virginia John Denvers, almost heaven. West Virginia, I like West Virginia. Carolina's got a team. The South Carolina, the Charleston Shoes. The Birmingham Beatdowns. Tennessee has a team. Can we have a map that doesn't have the roads? This would be easier. The Fayetteville. Yeah, yes. All teams have to have alliteration. By the way, the Fayetteville. Arkansas has good tomatoes, so the Fayetteville Tomatoes. It's down there. So Missouri has the Chiefs. Kansas. The Topeka Terrors, or the Topeka Tornadoes. That might be too soon. Well, Wisconsin doesn't have a team, so I guess I have to be what, the Lacrosse Lumberjacks. No, that's their independent Northwoods like baseball team. The Bismarck Barons, the South Dakota Slick. No. The South Dakota Rose Quartz. The only reason I know that the state mineral of South Dakota is rose quartz is because in 4th grade we did a parade of states. I had South Dakota. And you know what my talking points were? They have 2 time zones. The capital of Pierre is in 2 time zones. And also the rose quartz is a statement. And also like Mount Rushmore and blah, blah, blah. Nebraska. The North Platte Platitudes. It's just politicians. The OKC. The ABQ Blue. Oh yes. Arizona the team. So the Utah Jazz. It's so funny because the Jazz were in New Orleans and then they moved to Utah, which does not allow music. So do the Utah. I don't know, the Utah hip hops. What's not allowed in Utah? The Utah spicy foods. The Utah booze. The Casper Ghosts. Yeah, that's an easy one. Montana, the mighty Missoulas. Idaho, the Coeur d'Alene. Well, it could go a lot of directions there. I don't know. The Boise Battering Rams, the Portland Roses, or the Portland Antifas. See, oh yeah, Nevada has a team now. The Alaska team. So the Juneau, we have a team. Juneau, we have a team. There we go. And then Hawaii, the Honolulu Warriors. Well, that's the college team, so that's a cop out. Yeah. So there you go. Next up is World War II General Events Vaughn. I'm a thrill seeker when it comes to heat. Give a couple restaurant shout outs. Carolina Reaper Sauce from Wild Bill, Sports Saloon and Blaine. Then go B-dubs, some jammin', jalapeno. Yeah, I am a heat guy, but not like overkill. Like, what would be good for me? Hot sauce heat scale. See if we can find it like an infographic. All right, so Frank's Red Hot, pretty low on the Scoville scale. Yeah, Scoville heat units. There you go. Cholula. All right, so love Cholula. Just trying to find. So where does it like get hot for me? I haven't heard of any of these ones. I've had the Tabasco habanero. That's fine. All right, so for me, probably cuts off at about 30. Because I feel like anything after that is just punishment. Wait, no, actually. So I've had the blazing sauce. That's fine. Crazy Jerry's mustard gas. That might be a little bit too soon. All right, so yeah, 300,000. Is it really 300,000? Because I feel like the B-dubs blazing sauce isn't actually that hot. All right, some of these other ones, Blair's. No, so I haven't encountered any of these. Mega hot sauce. That's funny. Yeah, so I guess probably 500,000 Scovilles. Yeah, because Buffalo Wild Wings blazing sauce ain't that hot. It just ain't. Yeah, but I feel like at a certain point, it becomes less about eating and enjoying your food and more about a stunt, right? And like heat is a component of eating. Like heat with flavor, yes, but heat for heat's sake, nah. All right, next up is Sam Maros. Would you rather have the Vikings win 2 Super Bowls in a row or have the Packers never win a game again? 2 Super Bowls in a row, because check mark, as well as the Packers, if they were just a complete like consistent doormat, like the rivalry would be less fun. It's like Batman the Joker. We need each other, right? It's like the Lions. How we don't consider the Lions a rival just because it's been one-sided. Pop, pop. Sam Maros. Have the Vikings done anything with those extra roster spots? No. Is Gary Kubiak going to bring the offense to the next level like the Saints or the Chiefs? Would love to see it. Certainly has the experience to do it. He's got a Super Bowl. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that he is the only Super Bowl winning head coach that a team's ever had as a coordinator, which is just crazy, right? Nick Doroff. Got to be hot wings. If you had to get a tattoo of any Vikings player, who would it be? Could I just get Daniil's like muscles tattooed on my body? Like, that'd be great. It would be an optical illusion, and then I'll never have to work out again. It'd be good. Next up is AJ Barnes. Parmesan garlic baby all day on my wings is very good. Agreed. If not making it home, I'll order them from Wingstop. Wingstop is really good. D-Stop as well is really great. What burb are they in? It's northeast somewhere. D-Stop. Oh, yeah, up in Oakdale. Duh. Up in Oakdale. They have a spot? No, that's the transit. Yeah. Yeah, go to Wingstop, D-Stop, Wing Joint. All good. Next up is... why does Zimmer devalue the safety position? I don't think he does. I think he was just saying that off the cuff when negotiations were going very good with Anthony Harris. Just sort of like, yeah, if you lose him, yeah. And also, what about safety makes a less impactful position? I think that the strong safety position is more impactful than free safety because I feel like you can find a lot of guys that can cover, not guys that can cover as well as Anthony Harris for sure. But when safeties are down in the box, being able to cover, being able to match up in the slot against tight ends, being able to cover guys out of the backfield, being able to read and react and drop back in the zone as needed, as well as be stout against the run and tackling. I think that's the most important part than just coverage. Anthony Harris is the best free safety in the game. Yeah, love you, Andy. Love you. Taylor Varner. What's your opinion on trading up to get Justin Jefferson's buddy Jamar Chase to have the ultimate wide receiver trio? Ooh. God, that'd be sexy. It would be good to go. But early reports saying that 2021 wide receiver class may be even better than 2020. So Jamar Chase would be nice, but I mean, there's going to be a lot of really, really good wide receivers in this class. Aaron Rodgers, BFF, and lover. Let's say the Alice spies didn't decode the Zimmerman telegram. Mexico joins the Axis powers. How different will World War I be? Also, Mexico having a revolutionary war at the time. So, was this the underwater cable that they intercepted? I'm not completely, I know of it, but I'm not completely initiated on it. But yeah, if Mexico hopped in on the Axis powers, so Germany, Austria, Hungary, etc., it would have been interesting. But Mexico fighting amongst themselves, I think that would have precluded anything about Mexico really getting going against the United States, as well as if they were on the Axis side and we're going to invade foreign powers. I think they would invade it south, probably taking a lot more of the Central American countries because it would have been easier. Because even though the United States wasn't the United States yet, it certainly was a country capable of mobilizing very quickly, as you saw in World War I. Even though the World War I troops over the couple of years, that quick mobilization, it did really set the table for getting ready for World War II. But also given the history between the United States and Mexico in the late 1800s, I don't know if Mexico wanted any of this sauce, just to get smacked around. But I think it potentially could have slowed the United States involvement into Europe in World War I, which United States got into World War I right at the tail end. Did make a difference. Did they make a massive difference? It's debatable. But also, you could say that Germany was winning World War I before there was the armistice. And Germany got cheated in the armistice deal because they called for a truce. Britain kept the blockade on, and then they're like, hey, Germany, if you don't, as Germany began to demilitarize, and then they're like, hey, if you don't like it, we can go back to war. And then Germany wasn't in a position to do that. But, I mean, yeah, if the United States had to split attention, even just partially so, because I don't think it would have taken a ton to keep Mexico in check in World War I. The stalemate would have lasted longer, prolonging the suffering, which obviously was horrible. Germany may have had an advantage. Man, I don't even want to think about it. Maybe Germany develops decent tanks of their own at the end of World War I. It's just, see, last one. Brian Kukin, Frank's Red Hot Butter. That's right. Garlic cooked over low heat, absolutely whales. Agree. Cornstarch and rub on the wings. Get nice little crispiness. It's good. Toss on the smoker, $3.75 for 35 minutes. Costco wings are right. Yeah, they really are. Costco's really good in terms of quality of meat, as well as they have a lot of organic products as well. But the wings, get the 10-pound bag of frozen wings. It's like $15. Win yourself. Also, what are your thoughts? It's like $20. Doesn't matter. What are your thoughts on a 22-team season for NBA starting July 31st? It sucks that the Wolves are eliminated, but why do you need a full month to get ready? Right? I think they are missing out on a big advantage right now in the absolute dead period. Like, there is no sports right now. Baseball is not going to have a season. I think they're just bickering over pennies. And then the NFL comes back in. So once the NFL gets training camps going, preseason, like, that will swamp any other sports. It will. So I think NBA is really missing a big time. They had a great advantage here. I do like that they are coming back. Also, I think that this could finally be a learning experience that they should start the season on Christmas every single year, because no one pays attention to the NBA until Christmas Day anyway. Well, maybe not even this year, because who knows if they're going to play, as well as Vikings Saints Christmas Day. Get some. There you go. But that's it. That's a live stream for Friday. Enjoy your weekend, Jeromes. Stay safe. Take care of each other out there. Interesting times. We'll be back 11 a.m. Central Time every single weekday. Maybe not Fridays. Maybe 9 a.m. Fridays. I don't know. We'll see. But if you guys want to support the work, join. Do that. Venmo. There you go.